Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm sad. I officially said no, we're not going to go see anybody at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we had to make that call recently too.
So it's a smart thing, but it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Because I actually like Thanksgiving. Like I know some people.
I love it. It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah. But I like it because it's all the fun, getting together and eating delicious food without the pressure of like gifts and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Although with my family, we have like gifts are like, way down there.
Yeah, I'm finding as my various immediate families get older, that's less important.
That's one of the fabulous things.
Although it ticks back up since like last November.
Sure,
For one very specific person.
Yeah. I did read something really cool about like kids getting things like iPads, whatever else, and just make sure that they know they're not from Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I guess they were talking specifically of maybe parents or single parents or parents of not great means. Let them know that you worked really hard for that thing for them, as opposed to Santa bringing you.
Yeah, I think.
Which I thought was really cool.
We have a lot of thinking to do before he even knows, Santa. But I'm not sure where we'll land because I want Santa to be a figure just because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But Sarah grew up. Her parents didn't want to lie to her, so they just didn't do Santa. Mm. And I understand that, but I want to do somewhere in between, where like maybe it's small gifts from Santa.
Well, yeah, the necessity. I mean, that's what this thing said. It was like the not socks and underwear, but
Mm. Well, but no, like socks and underwear.
Yeah, the small stuff.
Yeah.
Santa, I needed that stuff.
Yes.
And whereas the really cool stuff comes from, grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, and Aunt Susan and stuff. So anyway.
Did you say Aunt Susan just as an example?
That is your sister thing.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I didn't know if you knew that, and I was just like, wow, that's a deep pull.
I was proud of myself.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I thought you were just using it as an example, and I was going to be real impressed or flabbergasted that you somehow got the right one.
Do you have any takers?
Three people signed up through the website. 9 people have expressed interest on Facebook, so I'm putting the link on both.
Cool.
We'll see. It's already up. I just have.
Is it at 2 or?
Mm-hmm.
I figure I know enough about FTO. I don't.
Well, you've done this one, if I remember correctly.
Cool. And I've taken 4 classes this week, so oh my god! I gotta say, Elizabeth was amazing.
No, she's good. She is finishing up her doctorate in public history at MTSU right now, and currently works for the library at Lipscomb, the Beeman Library. So.
Yeah, special collections, director of archive, et cetera. Yeah. So. So I'm hoping to jump synapses. I'm going to send in that schedule, despite the fact we don't really know when Seth's going to do his thing.
I talked to him today.
Oh, okay.
He's looking at his calendar.
Okay, because I think we could send it without exact dates.
Yeah. No. I think you're right. But if we get his dates, then we'll be down to just like 1 or 2 question marks.
I think so. Yeah. Is that because I took Cassandra off and started a January document.
Yes, and I talked to Michael Murphy too. He wants to pick back up in January.
Yeah, did you like the Python for the holidays?
I did, and one of the things that I've been seeing floating around, I didn't think of this in time this year, but next fall, one of the things I've been seeing floating around is this idea that you can use Python to power up your fantasy football team, like to get the scrape websites for information and fill out.
You should just throw that at him and say, "Ooh, next year let's do this."
Yeah, I think that would be huge. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, I didn't think of it until like mid-September
And you really have to be doing that in the summertime, right?
Well, at least right before the season starts. So in theory, I think it'd be good if we started in like August, maybe.
Yeah,
So,
that's fun.
you know,
I mean, even for a non-sports ball person, that's a really cool idea.
it falls in line with the direction I think I'm taking classes, which is like fun experiences and niche things that then will also teach you something.
Yeah, yeah.
So like,
So then that pulls in the fantasy football people.
Yeah.
Mind. Okay, well, cool. That might give me a little edge.
right. Well, and I think podcasts and that kind of thing is what made me think of that. Like, people are really interested in that kind of thing, right? But like Cassandra's thing is a perfect example of like, this is a way for us to highlight the fact that like there's all these 3D tours out there and you can do them pretty easily, and like Google Maps is out there and she can take you on a tour while also
Just show you how to
just
do it
showing you
yourself.
that it works, you know.
Yeah, and it's like, what is that whole teach a man to fish thing?
Yes.
So, or you can just, like me, yes, you can exercise on your own,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to be led.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not self-motivated. So I would be one of those that would go with Cassandra to wherever,
Yeah.
as opposed to doing it myself.
Well, and
Although
I'm a visual learner anyways. So like, if you described the process to me, I would need to see it anyways.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So
Oh, just, again, sorry, I'm
No, you're
everywhere
fine.
today, I'm all over the place. There is a murder of crows that hangs around here,
Okay.
seven of them.
yes.
And one of them really likes to sit on that utility pole up there, and
Uh-huh.
so I've named her Moira.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
So Moira, and I don't know, I guess we could call them David and Alexa and Johnny and Roland, and who else would be?
Patrick. Stevie.
Ronnie and Stevie?
Yeah.
That'd be about right.
Mutt. Although he's not in much towards the end.
Not towards the end. I think I have 3 more episodes before
What's-
the end. I'm really like,
Ted.
Ted.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that, when I took the quiz that Jonathan put up there, I was Ted. I'm like, oh my God, there's worse things.
Yeah. I mean, he's
He's such a sweet.
he's maybe the one of the few truly good people on the show. not that anybody's too bad. I'm just saying that like it's not like it's always sunny in Philadelphia or Seinfeld or something.
Oh my God, she's so messed up.
So I thought sometimes finales can be hit or miss, but I thought that they did a pretty good job.
No, I'm excited. Trying to figure out what these folks are doing, and I think the back door isn't unlocked, so I might have to go unlock the patio door. I don't recognize. That's cool. Somebody didn't know this.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you. I thought I saw your car.
Yeah, I came and then I forgot something in my office. I had to go back.
I was sitting on the patio talking to my sister. We were going, we're not going to do
Yeah.
this. It's just too awful.
I mean, my extended family's already canceling some Christmas stuff too.
Yeah. Well, we don't really meet up for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Gail's classes don't meet after Thanksgiving in person. So they're going to, sorry, I'm getting used to that. They're going to quarantine and then visit us like the 2nd week of December.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be horribleness all over the place
Mhm.
because of Thanksgiving and people not doing the right thing. But I think we'll be okay. And what's perfectly horrible is my father-in-law
Mm.
is moving to Adam's place the 13th of December.
Yeah,
That's just what timing. Oh my God.
it's bad, real bad timing. Does he currently live on his own?
Yes, he's like 2 houses down from my sister-in-law, but he's just,
Mm-hmm.
this whole pandemic has been awful for him.
I'm
He's
sure.
hardly left the house. He was like moving really hard, but he's got scoliosis, so he was all bent up like this. He was here visiting us, took him on a tour of Adam's place. After 4 days up here in Tennessee, because he's down in Florida, he was standing straight again.
Yeah.
Because Steve kept saying, stand up straight, come on, stand up straight. And I think, I don't know, because he's a guy,
Mm-hmm.
because he's a nurse, I don't know what, but he got,
Well, or even just having someone say that,
Remind him
you know.
constantly,
Yeah.
But I think the whole idea of, yes, I'm moving back here where I grew up, and he's gonna be around other people.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean that's the real benefit of Adam's place, in my opinion, is just being able to be around other people.
yeah, and Steve works like across the street. His offices are right across from where like Oscar's Tacos is.
Mm-hmm.
So, awesome. I'll be dealing.
I'm just setting up. Oh. Excuse me. Good afternoon. Let me make sure I'm all set up. Give me 1 second. All right. I'm almost there. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Trey Gwynn, and I am the Technology and Outreach Coordinator for the Rutherford County Library System. Today's class will cover how to navigate one of the newest databases available at the Technology Engagement Center, the Foundation Directory Online. Now, just a quick reminder, this is not a grant writing class. It is an overview of how the FDO database works. And trust me, you don't want me writing your grant, help from me writing your grants anyways. Like that was a recipe for disaster. However, if you are interested in taking a crash course on grant writing, keep an eye on the calendar. We will have one on the schedule in the upcoming quarter. Led by my wife, actually, who is a grant writer, and my entire understanding of how the FDO works comes from her. So be on the lookout for that if you need help with writing grants, as opposed to just combing this database, which is what this class is about. What is the Foundation Directory Online? First and foremost, it is literally what it says on the tin. It is a directory of foundations, but it's more than that. So if you're looking for a currently available grant that you can apply for, this isn't your resource. There are other websites that handle that kind of thing. The FDO is a database with a granular info on funders and grant recipients that allows users to build an effective database of new prospects and contacts that can be leveraged to increase the funding of nonprofit organizations. Thanks to a generous grant from the Christy Houston Foundation, the Rutherford County Library is able to make this database available to our patrons. To access it, all you need is one of our computers or to be connected to the Tech's Wi-Fi. So it's available at the Tech. It's the only branch that it's available at, and so all you have to do is get on one of our computers or connect to our Wi-Fi, and you'll be able to use the FDO. And we'll go through the steps of how to get to the FDO here in just a minute. So what does the Foundation Directory Online offer? It arranges information in 4 categories: grant makers, grant recipients, grants, and 990s. So in order, you have the people that gave the grants, the people that received the grants that were awarded from group 1 to group 2, and tax information that details all of that information, but in a less digestible form. Even though the FDO is not a directory of available grants, it gives you all the information you need to piece together a database of funding opportunities and contacts. Sometimes it might feel like you're a conspiracy theorist piecing together all of the bits of information that are available on the FDO, but the genius of the database is that it gives you everything you need to triangulate grants, funders, and grant recipients, allowing you to hone in on the funding bodies that you want to target with your fundraising efforts. Then it gives you information about who you can contact. It tells you who is on the board of the funders that you want to target. It even has LinkedIn integration so that you can log into your LinkedIn account and see how many degrees of separation separate you and the boards of those fundraisers. And especially with local fundraisers, I think you'd be shocked at how closely you are linked. You are likely linked to the various funders and their governing boards. So how do you access Foundation Directory Online? I'm going to change my thing. So boom. Okay. So you go to our website. You go to the Rutherford County website, which is you have, again, just to be clear, you have to be on one of our computers at the Tech, specifically at the Tech, not in any of the other branches. I'm going to keep saying that until you're tired of hearing me say it, but I just want to be clear about it. You either need to be on one of our computers at the Tech or on the Wi-Fi at the tech. Then you go to our website, which is rclstn.org. That's the initials of Rutherford County Library System, Tennessee.org. And then you go to this drop-down menu, which is online resources. When you click on online resources, don't click on any of the options it gives you. Just click straight onto the online resources. It will take you to the entire list of our online databases. Then from there, you just scroll down, and you'll see at the very bottom of the list over to the left-hand side of the screen, and I'm kind of slow rolling it so I can make sure that you can actually see it. There it is. It's cut off on your screen a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but there it is, bottom left-hand of the screen, Foundation Directory Online. And if you click on that, it will take you to the Foundation Directory Online main page. Functionally, the FDO works a lot like your favorite search engine. From the home page, you can take your search in a plethora of different directions based on your organizational goals. If we type into that search bar, we can get a fire hose of information. So, for example, if I go to the main page and I click into the search bar and I type in library, it's going to bring up literally all of the information that it has that is connected to libraries. That's grant makers, grants, recipients, 990 forms. It is just a complete fire hose of information. It's giving me everything with library in the search terms, right? However, as you can see, they give you options to filter. It lets you narrow down your searches. So if you look where I've got this red arrow pointing, there's a button that says Advanced Search and Filters, and you can tweak your search based on a short list of vectors, from geographic area to who is serving in the organization, and a whole bunch of other options. So if I go back to my sample library search and I click on Advanced Search and Filters, and I go to the geographic focus and I say Tennessee, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to say Tennessee. You'll notice that the amount of options that I've been given has greatly reduced. Now it's only giving me the things that specifically say that they are interested in libraries or have given to libraries based in Tennessee. And that's either grants being received by libraries in Tennessee or grants being given by funders in Tennessee. But wait, there's more. I'm doing my my best, infomercial voice. If you click on additional filters, you get even more options. So if I go back to my little sample that I'm working on, you'll notice that right here, I want to make sure you can see it. Right here is the additional. Well, it's cut off again a little bit again. I'm sorry about that, but additional filters right here. So if I click on that, it gives me even more ways that I can narrow down my search. I can change the grant amounts. I can change the years that they were given. So if I want, if I'm worried that a funder isn't going to be funding the kind of stuff that I'm looking for all the way back in 2003, which is when the database began, I can change it so that it's only going to give me the information from the last 10 years, from 2010 to 2020. Say I'm not looking for small grants. So right now it's got this grant, again, it's cut off, and I'm sorry about that, but this bar right here has is grant amount, right? Say it's something that, say I'm trying to fund something that is extremely expensive, right? There's no reason for me to mess with small grantors, right? So I can move this bar up to here. I'm only going to look for stuff that's over $5 million dollars, between $5 million and $10 million. I'm shooting for the moon, apparently. That allows me to narrow my search even more. I bet if I hit search right now, it's going to come back and tell me that there are 0. Yes, there are 0 because in the library world, no one is giving that amount of money here in Tennessee, apparently. I'd be curious to know, just out of pure curiosity. I'm going to do all that same stuff and widen the net. Okay, see, Tennessee's not so far behind. Apparently no one is giving that kind of money to libraries in the entire United States. So the FDO offers all of these very detailed tools that let you narrow down your search. And we already looked at that. While the FDO is not a listing of currently available or future grants, part of the database is an exhaustive list of past grants that have been awarded to organizations, meaning that you can search for grants that are applicable to your institution and it will give you a list of awarded grants. If you click on them, FDO gives you a breakdown of who the recipient was, how much was awarded, who the grant maker was, and some other important information. So if I go back to my sample search, I'm actually going to clear all those filters. Make sure that I you know what, I'm just going to click on this and start over. I'm going to type in libraries again just because it's a good example. And so if I actually click on this orange tab right here, the grants, see, it will take me to a listing of all the grants that have been given from 2003 to 2021. That include the word library of some sort. So if that's either recipients. So most likely that is recipients of a library, right, to the library. Although there are a few, you'll notice right here. Hopefully it's not entirely cut off, but the United States Institute of Museum and Library Services is a grant maker. So, so it's not just recipients that are in the library that are in the library search terms. So if we I'm just going to choose one at random. Going to choose the Pendleton Foundation Trust, which is the Pendleton Friends of the Library. It'll bring us to this page. From this page, you can follow the thread to the grant maker profile, which lets you see detailed information about the funder, and the recipient profile, which lets you see information about the recipient. For your searches, the past grants and information available on the FDO offer a glimpse at the connective tissue between funders and recipients. So, for example, if and in fact, I'm going to go back because this is not a good choice. I need something that's more. In fact, let's go to advanced search. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to Tennessee because I want to find connective tissue that will mean something to us because I don't know anything about Pendleton, Oregon. So let's go just for funsies. Let's go to, where did it go? Hold on one second. Oh, there it was. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So we're going to go to the Dollywood Foundation, right? So this is This is a grant to the Dollywood Foundation from the Harrison County Community Foundation in Indiana. So we can click on the Dollywood Foundation, and that will give us information about the recipient, which lets us look at the recipient and decide if there are things about the recipient that are similar to us. In fact, I'm thinking on the fly here. Normally, when we do these in person, I'm taking suggestions from people, so I'm kind of just winging it when it comes to that kind of thing. So I apologize. Let's actually do the. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the Nashville Public Library. And we're going to go to one of their grants. Oh, well, that's Nashville, but it's not. I should have already had this pulled up. My apologies. Okay. So here's a grant. That the recipient was the Nashville Public Library. The grant maker was the Henry Layard Smith Foundation. The amount was $5,000. It tells you what the subject was, what the transaction type was, what the geographic spread was, some other categories that tell you vaguely what it might have been about. So collections, acquisition, financial stability. Sounds like it was just a nice amount of cash given. But then if I in my job for the Rutherford County Library System was looking for grants looking for grant funders to add to my database that I can keep an eye on and try to make connections with, the Nashville Public Library is a perfect place for me to start because they are a peer institution. Significantly bigger, but they're a peer institution, right? If someone is funding them, then we will likely want to be in contact with those people just in case they want to fund us, right? So if I click on recipient, it will take me to the Nashville Public Library's recipient page, which gives me all kinds of information about their organization, right? So it'll tell me how many grants they've received from how many grant makers. It'll tell me what kind of grants those are coming from. So corporate funders, independent funders, community foundations. It'll tell me where those funders are located. See, the vast majority of them are local, then a bunch are same state, and then the rest are same country, which, that makes sense. It'll tell me how big the grants are. The vast majority of the grants that are given to the Nashville Public Library are small, less than $5,000. Although they have had a couple big ones, $1,000 to $500,000. If I scroll down, I can see a list, like an actual list of how many of the different people of the different grants that they've received. It'll tell me who the grant makers were. It'll tell me where the grant makers were located. So if I click on view all, it'll show me all of them, and I can show you the vast majority of them are coming directly from Nashville, Tennessee. If I go back and scroll down, it'll tell me what the Nashville Public Library's funding interests are. So public libraries, geographic focus. I can even pull up the 990 for the Nashville Public Library, and it'll give me some contact information down here at the bottom. So as an institution, if you're trying to use the FDO to find grant makers, the a good starting place is to find similar institutions. Find who is funding them, find out how much they're funding them for, how often they're funding, and then you can go from there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to this grant, right? And we're going to take a look at the Henry Layard Smith Foundation. So if I click on the Henry Layard Smith Foundation, it will take me to their grant maker page. And that is where you're going to find a ton of useful information. So the first stuff is like what kind of stuff is being funded. So the top thing that they're funding is education, then human services, then environment, then health, then arts and culture. In this middle area, it will show you where their money is going. And so the darker it is, the more they've funded that state. So Tennessee comes away with the most. And then you've got a little bit in Colorado and a little bit in Kentucky and a little bit in Georgia and Virginia and North Carolina and Michigan and a bunch, several other states, but the vast majority is going to Tennessee. And then over here, you see that the vast majority of their grants are very small, less than $5,000. If you keep scrolling, excuse me. If you keep scrolling, it will show you some of the grants that they've given. Now, I should say this, because we have come to their page, through the Nashville Public Library, through a grant to the Nashville Public Library, it's only going to show me relevant grants to that. So right now it's only showing that they've given grants to the Nashville Public Library. If I wanted to clear that, I could click this little X right here and it will show me all the grants that they're giving. So in 2018 they gave $105,000 to Harpeth Hill School. If you scroll down, you get a more detailed look at some of their the things that they're interested in. Right, so subjects, biodiversity, child welfare, communication media, geographic focus is Tennessee, Kentucky, Colorado, and New York, which that's a really interesting list of states. Population groups, academics, children and youth, support strategies, financial sustainability, organization type, and it's an independent organization. So again, as you're triangulating, as you're trying to find grant makers that will work for your organization, this is a really important place on the grant makers page, because you can look at it and say, okay, well, I have stumbled upon this grant maker that only gives grants in California, and here I am in Tennessee. I'm just going to go ahead and mark this one off my potential list, right? There's an about page that gives you some information. Some of these have more information than others. We're going to look at one here in a minute that has a lot of information. Down here, it has similar institutions. So if you are thinking about trying to reach out to the Henry Layard Smith Foundation, FDO has already done some of the work for you, and they are saying, okay, well, here are similar institutions. If you keep scrolling down, there's a place where you'll find applications and RFPs. Again, depending on the organization, you will find some information. Sometimes you won't. It just depends on how much information they have sent to FDO. You will find the most recent 990s here. And then here is the Who's Who section. And in the Who's Who section, has their corporate officers and board members, and like I said earlier, there's even a place where you can sign in to LinkedIn, and if you click right here, you can see where you have connections and how many degrees of separation you are from the people on their board. So what we're going to do, hold on, let me make sure that I'm where I need to be in my notes. Okay. One moment. Sorry, I'm cycling through. I know that doesn't look good. We're going to look at one of the biggest funders available on FDO, and that is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So a lot of that stuff that I was just talking about, because I picked one at random where things weren't filled out, we'll see a more robust listing here for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So you have what they're interested in funding. Health is their top one. Obviously, that is a high priority for Bill and Melinda Gates. You see where they are sending their grants. You'll notice that they have given grants to literally every state in the country. I say that to almost every state in the country. And then how big are their grants? And you'll notice that for Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you can't see it. I'm sorry, because I've got it cut off. I need to work on that. But the larger grants are where they are spending most of their money. So if we scroll down, we can see a literal list of all the grants that they've made since 2003. I'm not gonna cycle through those, but there's a whole list. Here are their funding interests. So agriculture, anti-discrimination, a whole bunch of different stuff, advocacy, the population groups that they're interested in, where their geographic focus is, their about page. So you'll notice that there's a lot more there than what we found in the last listing. And in fact, combating COVID-19 is one of their top priorities now, listed on here. Similar institutions, so the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, these are well-known large groups. Because this is a well-maintained FDO website, you'll find an application and RFPs listed here occasionally. Here's one that has no deadlines. Here's the latest 990 information, and then here's the who's who. So obviously Bill and Melinda Gates are on there, and Bill's dad or grandfather, I guess, or son and grandfather, son and father, and so here's how you can communicate with them, contact them. So, whoops, my mistake, wrong one. So by searching, so if you're an institution that's looking to get funding, if you search for institutions that are similar to you, you can then use the FDO to find grants that have been given from grant makers to grant recipients. You can then use that information to find similar institutions to you and find who is funding them. Then you can look at who is funding them and find what connections you have to them and add them to your database so that you can be on the lookout for funding opportunities from them. And of course, I touched on this earlier, but every institution that's on FDO, their 990 information, maybe not the most recent 990 information, but they have 990 information on the website, on the FDO, and you can find it there. And of course, one of the great things about FDO is that it offers tutorials and tips, stuff that goes into much further detail than I'm going into, but they have their own training videos and stuff like that. So thank you for attending this class. I hope that you're all staying healthy, and be on the lookout if you're interested in learning some more about writing grants. Be on the lookout for a grant writing class in the future. We'll probably have one in January. So thank you for attending. Please come use this database. We are very happy to have it. and we are thankful to the Christy Houston Foundation for funding it, and we want the local nonprofits to use it. And it's such a powerful tool. We hate for it to go unused. So thank you for attending, and have a good day.